Today we're going to be doing an install in a 2015 Lexus LX 570. We're going to be having to remove the radio and the display up here. To start, we'll go ahead and pull off the side panels. They're on the left and right here. We'll start with this one. If you just pull to the side and then pull out towards yourself for the top part, it'll come out. And we're just going to set this down to the side for now. The next thing we'll take out will be this, and to do that you need to turn on the car for a second. Don't turn it fully on, but just turn on the accessory so the steering wheel comes down. Once that's down, then you can pull this panel right here below the gauge cluster out. And once you've got that to the side, then you can pull out this vent. For this, you can just pull on it, or you can use a pry tool if you have one. There we go. And once you get it out, you'll have to twist it a tiny bit to get it to come loose. There we go. And now that we got that loose, we can turn the car back off. And then we'll take off this side panel over here. And the same thing, we're just pushing to the right. There we go. And now that those are loose, you'll just need a 10mm. We'll need to take this fin off too. There we go. And you'll just need a 10mm. We're going to remove the 3 on this side and the 3 over here. And now that we've got those loose, the display will come out first. And there's going to be 3 plugs back here that you'll need to undo. Once you've got that loose, you'll need to take the other 2 10mm out right here. And before this comes out, we need to take off this bottom piece. So just pull on both sides of it. There's going to be 2 plugs, 1 on either side. And then there's 1 in the middle. There we go. And from there, the radio just pops right out. And it looks like our gear shifter is going to be in the way here, so you can just untwist that. There we go. And just make sure you don't clip the radio on that. And then we can start unplugging everything back here to remove this. There we go. And now that we got all those loose, we can go ahead and start connecting our wires, so we'll be right back with that. Alright, so now that we got everything out, we can go ahead and start running our cables. We're going to do the GPS antenna first. There's this AC vent right here, on the very top of it behind the speaker. There's a nice spot where it just fits right up in there. It's super tight, and the adhesive 3M tape is going to keep it in place as well. And we're just going to run all of our wires to right here for now once we get them connected. And that way we can run them down into the glove box once we're done. And the next cable we'll connect is going to be our GVMF cable. It's going to be this one here with the 2 blue tips and the display port. We're going to connect that right here to the factory one. And then we'll leave this one hanging to plug into the display. And lastly, we're going to be hooking up this one here. It's our main power harness. This side will be going to the V-line, and then these will be connecting back here. Start with the female side. And our 16 pin. Alright, now that we've got all that done, we can go ahead and put in the radio, so we'll be right back for that. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put our radio back in, now that we've got all the cables ran. I like to start with the bottom plugs here, just to make it a little bit easier. Alright, and once you've got all the wires connected, just do a double check and make sure you've got everything there. And once you've done that, we can go ahead and slide this back into place. There we go. Alright, so now we just got to screw the 2 in up here and the 2 in on the bottom side for this. And make sure you put the screws on the bottom, down here, and the bolts up top. Alright, so now that those are in, we can go ahead and do the display now. It's just going to be our 3 cables. The only difference now will be this plug will be going into the display instead of the factory one. Go ahead and slide that into place. Just make sure everything lines up with the bottom down here and the top. And then just push. And now we can go ahead and put in the rest of our screws. We're going to be doing the screw up top and the bolt down bottom on this one. Alright, and now that we've got all that plugged in, now is a great time to go ahead and test everything while we have all the cables right here. So we're going to go ahead and test, make sure everything's working, and then we'll continue to reassemble everything. Alright, so we've gone ahead and tested everything and confirmed it all works. So now we're going to be running our wires to the glove box. For that, there's a cover right here for the interior air cabin filter. And if you go up from it, you can actually see your hand through here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to run all of our cables through there. And just make sure when you're running them through this way that you push from one side and pull from the other to get the cable through. If you just pull from one side, it might get snagged or you might break it. Alright, so we've got all of our cables through now. We're just going to go through and zip tie up all the slack real quick, and then we'll come back and show you the reassembly. Alright, so we've got all of our cables managed and out of the way of the vent here, so we can go ahead and start reassembling everything. We're going to start by plugging this back in, this part that goes down below. Make sure you get all three of these plugged in. And just line up the 4 clips on each, or 2 on each side. Push in. There we go. From there we can go ahead and put our vents back in. This one's going to be our driver's side. Let's put this one over here. And then for the side one over here, just make sure you lift this out of the way. And you might have to turn on the vehicle as well. That's what we're going to do here to get the steering wheel out of the way. Gives you some extra room to work with. And when you put these back in, make sure you push the top part in first and then push the bottom side this way instead of in. There we go. And then we'll show you what to do on the other side next. Alright, so from this side, we're going to pop this back in. And the last thing will be sliding the button back in here and then putting on the shift knob. There we go. And the shift knob is just going to spin clockwise. There you go. I'm going to say install the V-line.